My name is Mawada Binti Muafaza and my metric number is A22BE0139. Today I will be presenting to you about my plant journal, which I name is as Shifa. The plant that I choose is flamingo flower, and as for the classification and characteristic, the plant division is in angiosperms, which is flowering seed plants in monocotyledon seeds. The plant growth form is in herbaceous shaped plant. Meanwhile, in lifespan in Singapore, which have the same climate as Malaysia, is perennial. Mode of nutrition is autotrophic. Plant shape is open, and the maximum height can be reached for flamingo flower is 40 centimeter. Description and ethnobotany for flamingo flowers. The growth form, it is a small upright herbaceous plant that grows to 40 centimeter in height. Adventitious roots may occur in some plants. As for the foliage, its foliage are heart-shaped, glossy, with a smooth leaf margin. The dark green leaves can measure up to 20 centimeter long. And as for the flowers, are axillary, produced on the spadix inflorescences. The inflorescence comprise of a cream yellow tail-like spadix and bright red spark that is wide, flat, and waxy. The long-lasting flowers can bloom multiple times yearly when optimum conditions are met. As for the fruits, it is small, round, yellow in color, produced along the spadix. Fruits are rarely observed on indoor plants. And as for the cultivation, Anthurium grows well in moist, well-drained soil. Locations which are window-facing can promote better blooms and faster growth. Wipe the foliage periodically to remove dust. And as for the ethnobotanical use, it is cut-dried flower. For the plant care, in landscaping features, it is desirable plant features is for ornamental flowers and foliage. Plant root zone and preference tolerance, it is for well-drained soils or moist soils. And as for the landscape uses, it's for interior scape, indoor plant, or container planting. Plant care and propagation, the light preference for flamingo flowers is semi-shade. And for the water preference, it is moderate water. And the plant growth rate is fast. Next, as for the plant selection, I've been choosing flamingo flower, which I name it as Shifa, which is in Arabic means healing. I'll proceed with the preparation method that I use for planting my plants. And as for the supplies needed to plant the anthurium in a pot is potting soil, gardening gloves, a small shovel, planter pot, fertilizer, and also water. I prepared the planter and the soil first, and then I set the plants in their actual containers in the pot to visualize placement and layout. I dig a hole for the plant to be transferred in using a small shovel. I carefully loosen the roots or the base of the plant with my hands. I gently place the plant in the hole and cover with dirt, slightly pressing soil around it. Once all are planted, it's time to fertilize. I just take a small handful and sprinkle throughout the planter. Finally, I water everything in. At this point, the plants have probably started to dry out, so I like to give them a good soak. I'm ready to watch them grow by putting them beside my room window in KRP College in UTM. For the big one, the plant was in a good condition and there is nothing disease or problem can be detected within the leaves or the flowers. So I water the plant regularly. During the week 2, the leaf is having a spot hole. This is maybe because of problem of or disease that caused the problem is fungal disease. So the solution is I give the plant plenty of room and avoid overhead watering. I water the plant in moderate quantity. In week 3, the leaf is in yellowish state color. Small leaves grow below the plants. As for the yellowish state color of leaf, it may be because of improper watering. So I water the plant in moderate quantity and regularly. On week 4, the young leaf tip is getting brownish. So it is maybe because of inconsistent of watering habits that I jump on watering the plants. In the solution, I water the plant in moderate quantity and regularly. As for the brownish tip, I prune the damaged leaves so that the plant will look almost as good as new. On week 6, the leaf starts to turn yellowish, and there is young dead leaf can be spotted on top of the soil, which has been round in a red color circle. And for the solution is I water the plant in moderate quantity and regularly. And the activity that I've done on that day is I dig soil at the rare area of G07 block to be mixed and add to the plant. I collect some earthworms to be put in the planter. Then I took out the existing plant from the existing planter to another empty pot for a while. Then I mix the soil to another then I mix the soil all together before I put the plant back into the planter. Then I water the plants to enhance the humidity. On week 8, the flower was wilted down, just need some time to fall to the ground. As for the leaves, they were turning to yellowish. This is because of inconsistent of my watering habits, and that caused the plant did not get sufficient of nutrients. So the solution is I need to water the plant in moderate quantity and consistently. On week 10, some of the leaves were turning yellowish, and as for the flowers, they are getting wilted down. It is because of my inconsistent watering habit and improper soil pH, which lead to the nutrients become less available to it. Even though nutrients are present, plants can't take them up until the pH issues are fixed. So as for the solution, I water the plant in moderate quantity and consistently. Next, I have to fix the pH issue by changing the soil again that have correct ratio of calculation. Lesson that I've learned through my plant journey is don't allow the soil to completely dry out, which can also lead the problems with the plant's growth and health. Next, Anthurium thrive when placed in location that receive medium to bright indirect light. I supposedly we don't need to place the anthurium in an indoor location that receive bright direct light, especially during the afternoon or the foliage can burn in their native environment. Anthuriums grow beneath tree canopy and are protected from the direct rays of the sun. In addition to foliage burning when light conditions are too bright, when light conditions are less than ideal, the foliage can also lose color, turning paler. This can lead to you thinking it's suffering a deficiency in nutrients and requires additional fertilizer, though it only requires more light. If light conditions are too low, the anthurium ceases producing flowers. The only pruning anthuriums required is to trim off spent flowers and to remove dead or the damaged foliage. These are the planting cycle that I've been done during my plant journey: planting, feeding, watering, and harvesting. Next, as for the plant herbarium, there are 8 species that I've been collecting in my plant herbarium, which is there will be there will be 2 types of trees, which is Registroman spiosa. In common name is Pride of India. Next, Gracia mangostana, which is mangosteen tree. And as for the shrub, there will be 2 types of species, which is Izora siam ribbon, and for the common name is Colalilo. Next is Osmoxylem linear, which is in common name. Its common name is green aralia. And as for the plant, there will be one, which is Cocos necifera, coconut tree. And as for the ground cover, there will be one species, Imperata cylindrica, and in common name is blady grass. And as for the climbers, there will be one species, Melotria pendula. Its common name is creeping cucumber. And as for the fern, there will be one species only, which is Pteris bracken, and its common name is leather fern. That's all from my presentation. Thank you.